History remembers great empires, legendary battles, and iconic kings. But hidden in the Mediterranean lies a chapter nearly erased from memory. This is the story of the Sicilian War, a brutal struggle fought not for glory, but for survival. A war where forgotten heroes rose, empires clashed, and the destiny of an entire island was shaped forever. Tonight, we travel back more than 2,300 years to uncover the untold story of the warriors who changed history, yet vanished from its pages. Sicily, long before it became part of modern Italy, was the shining jewel of the Mediterranean, a land of fertile soil, powerful ports, and rich cultures blending into one another. Greek settlers built magnificent temples along its coasts, while Carthaginian traders filled its markets with goods from Africa and Spain. Every empire saw Sicily not just as land, but as the heart of trade, power, and influence. Its position at the center of the Mediterranean made it a bridge between continents and a battlefield for rivals. From peaceful villages to towering fortresses, Sicily became a place where cultures met, and where war was only a matter of time. To the west of Sicily stood Carthage, a mighty empire built on trade, wealth, and naval power. Its fleets ruled the seas, and its armies marched with unmatched discipline. To the east rose the proud Greek city of Syracuse, a center of knowledge, architecture, and innovation, home to warriors, philosophers, and brilliant engineers. Both powers believed they had rightful claim over Sicily. Both demanded control, and neither was willing to step back. Between these two giants, the people of Sicily waited in fear, knowing that when empires collide, it is the innocent who suffer first. The war did not begin with kings or great empires. It began with a single city trapped between two powerful forces. A local rebellion rose against a corrupt ruler, and in the chaos, a Carthaginian general was murdered. Desperate for protection, the city called on Syracuse for aid. Carthage responded with fury. Its armies landed on Sicilian shores, burning villages and taking control of strategic ports. Syracuse struck back, mobilizing its fleets and sending soldiers marching across the island. The quiet fields of Sicily transformed into battlegrounds, and the first flames of the Sicilian War erupted into the night sky. History often remembers kings, generals, and empires, but the real backbone of the Sicilian War were the ordinary men and women who stood their ground. When their homeland was threatened, farmers became soldiers, fishermen became defenders of the coast, craftsmen forged weapons from tools, and mothers hid and protected their children as battles raged nearby. These were not professional warriors, yet their courage matched any army. Some fought in small militias, others in secret resistance groups, and many never returned home. Their names were lost, their stories buried under the dust of centuries. But without them, Sicily would have fallen long before the war had even begun. Today we honor these forgotten heroes, the silent defenders, who shaped the fate of an island, yet vanished from the pages of history. As the Sicilian War entered its most brutal phase, two extraordinary leaders rose to shape the destiny of the island. From Carthage came Hamilcar, a master strategist whose understanding of Sicily's terrain turned battles into calculated traps. And from Syracuse emerged Dionysius the Elder, a visionary ruler who transformed engineering into a weapon of war. Under their command, warfare evolved into a deadly game of intelligence and precision. Hamilcar launched swift raids from the sea, crippling Greek ports and supply lines with terrifying speed. Dionysius responded with innovation, constructing massive fortifications and war machines that reshaped the future of ancient combat. Their victories were fierce, their losses devastating. Yet both men earned admiration for their brilliance. They were not merely generals. They were architects of a conflict that would echo through history. The Sicilian War reached its final storm when the armies of Carthage and Syracuse clashed in the greatest siege the island had ever seen. Walls shook as catapults thundered, smoke rose like black columns into the sky, and the ground trembled under the march of thousands. Hamilcar, relentless and fearless, led his forces through fire and arrows, determined to claim victory for Carthage. Dionysius, standing atop the battlements of Syracuse, inspired his soldiers with unwavering resolve, refusing to yield the city he had transformed into a fortress of innovation. For days and nights the battle raged without pause, a struggle of endurance, courage, and sacrifice. But as the siege dragged on, exhaustion consumed both sides. The heroes who once stood unbreakable now carried the weight of countless losses. At last, a storm swept across the island, drowning the battlefield in rain and signaling the war's end. Neither Carthage nor Syracuse emerged victorious. Instead, Sicily itself bore the scars of their conflict. The forgotten warriors, whose names never reached the scrolls of history, were the true guardians of the island's legacy. And in the silence that followed, their sacrifices echoed across time, reminding us that history is not written by kings alone, but by the countless unseen heroes who fought, fell, and faded into memory.